if there is no harmonization of the transition from one generation to the other, there will be a gap, at which point wealth will drop. As we launch our new subsidiary today, the Meristem Family Office, it is my honor to stand before you as Group Managing Director and to share our motivation. For over 2 decades, Meristem has been dedicated to helping our clients grow their wealth. Our motivation is simple: to add even greater value to our clients by becoming their trusted partner in multi-generational wealth management. We understand the complexities and the emotional aspects involved in this process, and we are here to guide you through it. We have put the appropriate structure in place, including engaging an experienced international professional, Mrs. Uma Kuma, to lead the business as CEO. And assisting Uma is the Chief Operating Officer, a very experienced lawyer in the area of family office, Kemi Ojenike. Your success is our success. One of our philosophy in Meristem, if you go to our website, you will find it there, is that we put, everyone in Meristem knows this philosophy, that we put ourselves in the place of our clients, and we serve you as we would like to serve ourselves. That when you are not happy, we have failed. And when you are happy, we smile.
In a way, when entrepreneurs set up and build their wealth, what it is actually, you don't actually have any time to think about anything else but actually creating the wealth. When it comes to a certain point, you kind of look at your life and say, but what is in it for me? Why have I created all this wealth? What is it that actually will help preserve this wealth? And part of our job here is to help you think through that process, give you the time, and also help build the bridge between you and the next generation, so that they can also feel that they are contributing to the family's wealth and the values that you have, that you pass on. If families do not communicate with each other, then there is an issue. And part of our job as a family office is actually provide that service, where we can build a bridge between the first and the second, and hopefully many generations to coming forward. And why is it important to have that conversation? So that there is an alignment of values. There's an alignment that talks about how the family should grow and how they should then move forward, and where should they invest in. Change is the big theme of the day. And as the family wealth grows, and as we go into the far and future lands, the people who serve you, us Meristem, have to follow you and support you in your journey, and that is our attempt. And I really want to ensure that we have the right services for you wherever you go. This is Ian Abayoji, for those who don't know.
For me, I think that when we talk about family, right, at the heart of family is legacy. And the two things that are constant with a family that wants to exist beyond its current time is that they take seriously the twin elements of time and change. Those two things are the only two things that will forever be constant about the way the world works. I think my work is almost intrinsically linked to the kind of family that I come from. And I think there's a lot of it that is relatable, especially when you're a first generation, would I say, success.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my family, my grandfather on my father's side was a butcher, right? Baba Elero. He came to Lagos sometime in the 60s and used to be on Babbage. Right? And he came from Kwara, where we're actually from. And I remember my father telling me a story about him. He had just bought land in Morocco. And his land was literally forcibly taken away from him. So they had to start from scratch. And he always tells me that to remind me that any physical possession that you put your trust in can be taken away from you. And ultimately, the only thing that you own is your intellect. And me, that's what he always says. That's all you really own in this world. Everything else, your spirit, everything else is ephemeral and can be taken away from you. And so as I grew up, my father was first, he had a very long storied career in stockbroking, was one of the first analysts at Shell Trustees. He did very well for himself, and then ultimately decided to retire as a minister. So he's the general overseer of Foursquare. But I watched him go from riding taxis, right, as an unemployed graduate of University of Lagos in the 90s, all the way to watching him become a general overseer of a ministry, of a very globally acclaimed ministry with about 400,000 faithful and 2,500 churches. Watching that process of wealth being built not only instilled in me the belief that it was possible, but also instilled in me a responsibility to protect it. And that's why, when she said she was doing a family, I was like, I'm a client, because for me, protecting our family's wealth is really important to me. But back to it, my own background has been technology. So I built 2 of Africa's 5 unicorns. The first one was a business that really just takes on human capital, transforms it from raw talent to world-class software engineers, and puts them on the global market, and we make the difference between the 2. The second one was payments, right? Realized that digital payments were not quite where they needed to be, and that there was a gap where we could build a payments platform that really helped business owners to be able to collect payments locally and globally, and also help international companies collect from all the local payment methods.
Yeah, so, coming from all of that, and, after a certain point, it's not about the wealth creation. You want to do something with your money, right? And part of your thinking for Future Africa was, what should we do with all of this? What is the role of you as a person to take Nigeria and Africa forward? And so I want you to talk a couple of minutes about Future Africa.
Yeah, so for me, one of the challenges with the path I took was that it led me to early success. So you can imagine a 27-year-old, I had a couple million in the bank. I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. And my dad started to tell me, and he had a very funny way of saying it. It was basically like that the problem with early success is that it destroys you.
Yeah. Yes, it can.
So he would say, he always used to use this Bible verse, unless a grain of seed falls to the ground and died, it abided alone. So he's like, what are you going to do with this money to make sure that it's replicated? But also for us as a family, right? We have, from my grandfather's time, my grandfather on my mother's side was a missionary. He was one of the founders of ECWA. And for us as a family, our name is extremely important. But also the expression of our name, and that's why we've never really been the kind of family to name things after ourselves, right? We don't think that the expression of our name is in the things that is named after us, but in the legacies that we've built. So things we can point to and say, that we started that. we built this, we did that. And that's sort of how I was raised. So when we had some money, we had quite a bit of money. I knew I wanted to give back, but also build the next generation. And I went and I spoke to a lot of wealthy people from around the world. I had the benefit of meeting with, and they would keep saying that legacy is actually working backwards from the future you have imagined.
The idea of a family office, I think, and not to put words in your mouth, but it was more about thinking, okay, so I'm doing all of this outside, I'm doing stuff of Africa, I'm doing stuff for the world. What about my own family? How do I make sure I'm preserving and passing on to your lovely daughter and all the other children who are to come from here?
Organizing the family office has really helped, because even our fund started off as a family office, but we did it ourselves because at the time there weren't a lot of firms that understood my local context and were willing to give personalized service. So naturally, you know, as we started to get the funding rounds, Goldman Sachs will call, Morgan Stanley will call, Standard Bank will call, but they were just selling me products. You know, they weren't interested in what I wanted to do. They weren't interested in how I was planning. They weren't interested in how I wanted. Because I think people think about family office as something you do before you die, right? But the reality is that as you grow, if you're not very intentional about what your legacy will be from day one, you can either end up with a family office setup that quite literally becomes a vehicle for waste, right? So it's like giving a kid an open vote, right? Without having taken the time to actually train them on, look at this is how the business works. What I'm trying to do with our own family office is make it a vehicle for impact in the way that our family knows to do it, which is simply by empowering other people.
A very important point that Fatima here brought up about succession planning. You know, really looking at, you know, how do we plan? You know, and it takes many years for the business to pass on. And as you say, you know, the earlier you start, the better. And my observation has been that my Nigerian clients often leave it very late. And you're very right in pointing that out. I always tell my clients, you know, earlier the better. Now, they all may not be interested. As I said before, they may not be all interested in the same business, but that's okay as well. You know, you can have different views, just like you had different views. You set up the funds in a way that they can be used for other things because they are also creative. They have different ideas. So that's our job, to, you know, help have that conversation, help have the succession plan, and then, of course, point you in the direction of the right partners so that we can support you both here and we hope internationally. So our aim is to try and support the business and family internationally as much as we can. So give us some time, but give us your time and your ears so we can listen to you.
A family office is always a work in progress. You never finish pulling things together. But you know, you try and check off a list for as long as you can, right? And hope that time doesn't run out on you. But for me, like for our family, there were three things that were really important. For me, number one is talent, investing in talent, which has really defined kind of most of what I've done. The second thing for me was social infrastructure, right? I really think that for me, one of the challenges of coming from a background like I have is that, and watching your family go through from poverty to some general level of wealth, is that you always want to see that story repeated for as many people as possible. And the fastest way is through social infrastructure. That's, you know, play spaces, art spaces, schools, you know, public utilities that everybody can access, right? And you want to do it in a sustainable way.
Correct.
And then finally, investing in democracy, right? So we donate a lot to candidates. We donate a lot to political of all stripes, so long as they share our points of view on how the economy should work, and they are Nigerian, or in the case of my wife and American, right? We invest in democracy. And those are like the three pillars. And, you know, it was only after I had a session with her that I was able to boil down all these random interests, from investing in an art gallery in Yaba to planning to give most of setting up an endowment for a school that really did represent social infrastructure. It was through my conversations with her that I was able to come to that clarity that, look, this is what our family's money should do in the world, whether commercially or philanthropically, right? But we think about everything as an investment in any case, but this is what our family should do in the world. So I really encourage everybody to take advantage of it. The bigger issue, though, and I think the bigger opportunity, is really legacy. And I think for me in particular, maybe we will get there now, but I think that we have to get to a point where first our families mean something, in the sense that what they represent means something, right? And most importantly, our communities mean something, and largely our country means something. Consistently for our family, the decision that we've made is that we have to be a driving force for Nigeria's development in one way or the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we make that round of applause louder? Now we are at the moment where we want to launch and unveil the family office officially. And to do this, I'm going to crave your indulgence to join me. We're going to do a countdown together. All right?
Welcome to a new era of complete wealth preservation. We are proud to introduce the Meristem Family Office, where your family's well-being is our priority.
As a visionary leader, you've built an empire, a testament to your hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. But now, a burning question keeps you awake at night. What will become of your labor when you are no longer here to guide it? Imagine a future where your success story continues to unfold, generation after generation, where your wealth becomes a catalyst for greatness, guiding your descendants to new heights. I want you to picture a world where your children and grandchildren step into their roles as custodians of your legacy, armed with the knowledge, values, and resources required to navigate the complexities of wealth. And here's the beauty of it all. Your success not only provides financial security, but also the power to create profound change in the world. It becomes a force for good, touching lives and leaving your mark on society. This is why the Meristem Family Office exists, to ensure the seamless transfer of your wealth and wisdom across generations. We empower families like yours, guiding them through the intricacies of wealth management in all its forms. As your partner, your peace becomes our driving force. Let us build a future where your family's prosperity and impact last for generations. Take the first step today, and let us begin the journey together. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending your time with us this Thursday morning. It is our honor and our privilege to serve you. We really hope that in the course of today, you have really experienced our heart in the family office, which is the fact that we are not just here to sell you a service. We are actually interested in helping you solve real problems, real challenges in relation to the transfer of your wealth across generations. We look forward to engaging with you further. We look forward to private consultations where we can take these discussions forward. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to serving you. Thank you. After achieving remarkable success, the complexities of wealth transfer can be daunting. We understand the uncertainty that can cloud the path forward. especially when it comes to family cohesion, the right structures, and the continuity of prosperity. At the Meristem Family Office, we understand the importance of your legacy. We will help you protect it for generations to come. With our suite of services, we are equipped to meet your needs. Through family discovery, we will unearth the distinct attributes within your family that must be harnessed for multi-generational success. Our Family Governance Advisory ensures that your family's mission is clear, decision-making is sound, and strengths are optimized without compromising well-being. With our legacy planning services, you can look to the future with confidence and peace. We will create structures for wealth to be passed down efficiently, in line with your deepest wishes and aspirations. Let us help you grow and preserve your financial wealth with investment strategies that will cater to the growing population of your family without jeopardizing the safety of your assets. Through our philanthropy service, you can contribute to making real change in the world while affirming your most important value. The next generation must be empowered to continue the wealth journey. We will design and implement specially curated programs to equip your heirs with the knowledge, skills, and lessons that they need to excel. At the Meristem Family Office, our goal is to transform your concerns into opportunities, complexities into simplicity, and legacy into enduring success. You can count on us as your partners for the journey.
You've reached the stars, now let's see you conquer galaxies.
The beauty of wealth lies in growing, preserving, and transferring it. Building wealth isn't only what you do for yourself, it's what you do for generations to come. And to pull that off, you need partners. Partners who understand that the assignment isn't just to grow your wealth, but to preserve it against the harsh storms of life and ensure it sees the light of day, ready to be transferred from generation to generation. So you see, the art of building wealth is all about growth, preservation, and transfer. And at Meristem, we have perfected that art.
Meristem. Let's grow wealth for you.
You've reached the stars, now let's see you conquer galaxies. You've gone for gold, let's show you 2 more treasure chests.
Your story doesn't have to end with you. As a matter of fact, it can continue into the next generation.
The only way to move, fish up the way to go.
And the generation after that.
Don't stop.
After all, you've worked hard to get to where you are. Why should your wealth end with you? Let your story continue.
Let's take you far.
Meristem. Let's grow wealth for you.